Hello, everyone. I I'm fairly annoyed right now. I'm not gonna lie. So for one thing I'm annoyed at is the fact that I'm streaming so late. Now I intended to stream probably around 11:30. That would have been fine, you know. But I wanted to watch the Fury Nagano fight, and don't worry, I didn't pay for that circus show of a fight. I didn't do that at all. And it was even worse than I thought it would be. Sorry, I shouldn't just go straight into ranting, but this will be a bit of a ranty stream. Uh, Not my usual relaxed stuff. I hope you've all been well. Uh, I'm finally free from having to travel every week, so I should be able to stream a bit more, or at least be a little bit more consistent, assuming I can get my timing and stuff down. I'll be at home on my proper computer, so I won't have to worry about stuff too much. But I've been well, and I'm nice, and I got a lovely sleep in today, kind of the first one in a good while, and I was lovely and cozy. But let's get back to what I was talking about. So I was going to stream a little bit earlier today, but I was like, nah, you know what? My dad gave me a call and was like, hey, I have the match, and I was like, okay, I'll go up and watch it. I'll go up and enjoy it. Be a nice way to spend some of the Saturday. But I knew it was going to be a clown show. I wasn't really expecting much. It's Tyson Fury, one of the best boxers in the world, versus Ngannou, a devastating puncher, but, you know, not a boxer. Although I believe he did do kickboxing, so he definitely has some skills. And seeing him in the ring, he definitely is a capable striker. But I was expecting that, Fury would come in, box around him for a couple of rounds, maybe get caught once or twice and we'll have the big drama, which we did. We Nagano dropped him in the third round, I think, or the fourth. I think it was the third one, and Fury ended up winning in a split decision. But the fact that it was a split decision at all is a fucking joke. The fact that it was close at all is a joke. I know that the Saudis can put on so much money and uh, give us these clown shows of an MMA fighter fighting against the heavyweight champion. Now, of course, if it had gone to 12 rounds, I'm not even sure. Fury was doing nothing. What I'm so annoyed about is that Fury clearly did not attempt in any way to train for this fight. He probably trained for about a week or two coming up to it, but he didn't put in any preparation, it seemed. Now, on the other hand, then you have Ngannou, who I feel like really put in a lot of work, a ton of work. He was trying. I feel like they really sat down, came up with a game plan, and he really did try his best. It was his chance to be in a boxing stage. Apparently, one of his dreams, I heard this, to fight against the heavyweight world champion, even though the title wasn't on the line, so it wasn't a 12-round fight. And the champion didn't even train for him. Fury has pretty much disgraced boxing this night. Because he was terrible. Now, he was terrible in the sense that I think he could probably still beat the majority of heavyweights. Although it would be a very, very scrappy fight and it would be horrible. But he was just terrible in how. No, actually, you know what? I'd say he would have lost against a lot of heavyweights. I don't even know. Because he probably would have trained if he was fighting an actual heavyweight boxer and not an MMA fighter. But he didn't. He came in clearly overweight. Now, Fury's always been fucking a fat bastard. As he called himself, a fat man who was the one to beat Vladimir Klitschko. But he didn't even look like he was in shape at all. Now, the fact that he can then go 10 rounds of boxing is, it says a lot about my fitness that he looks like that and is able to do that. But I feel like boxing was disrespected and Ngannou was disrespected. He should have actually, there was times in the fight where he was clearly piecing Ngannou up. He was catching him left, right, and center. He found his range. and he was outboxing Ngannou pretty handedly. I think it's a correct decision that he won. He won more rounds than Ngannou, but it shouldn't even be a question of, well, there were some swing rounds that Ngannou could have won, and maybe we could have been talking about how Ngannou managed to beat Fury. That shouldn't have happened. You know, you don't want Fury, you don't want like the better boxer to go in there, the person who's like going up against someone who's never been in a boxing match in their life, and just knock him out in the first round. You know, I don't think Fury or Ngannou or any of the organizers wanted that. They wanted to put on a show, but Fury could have at least tried. It seems so disrespectful that he didn't even seem to put in actual effort against Ngannou and looked as terrible that he did. His footwork was all over the place. He was the same herky-jerky style that he always is. And there were times when he looked really fast, but then there were times that, like, he was throwing punches and he was leading with his head. He was diving in at times, doing nothing. It looked like he was shooting for a takedown against Ngannou. And there was times when he would do that. He would throw a punch and he would fall into Ngannou, and Ngannou would simply step back and throw a punch. Now, something usually he didn't land, but there was a few times when I was like, if Ngannou times this well, he will rock Fury. And Ngannou's a fucking beast. But, oh, I don't know, it's just annoying. I want, because Fury has this great story. He really does. The whole beating Klitschko, dethroning him, going into what I genuinely believe was a depressive state. He reached kind of the top of his world, and he didn't know what to do at that point. And he just went on a bender, went on a coke binge, on a massive... Those are only for ASMR, Daya, but welcome in, Daya. What is that? Pneumonotramic croscopics salicovolca nonconiosis. Redeemed trigger word. That's the longest word in the English language. I've never heard of that. I'll have to look up how it's pronounced later. But yeah, I'm not doing ASMR today. I'm on a rant about how the boxing world is a joke. It's a disease. What's it a disease of? What's it a disease of, Daya? And welcome in. It's very, very nice to have you. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just annoyed today. The lung. It's a disease of the lung. That sounds pretty rough. Oh yeah. Pneumonic. Yeah. That makes sense. I should have figured that one out pretty quickly. My mind's elsewhere. It's been fuzzled by the joke of a boxing match I watched today. Honestly, I can't fault anyone who says that Ngannou won that fight. Because, like, if you just give Ngannou 4 rounds, well, maybe not that he won it, but at the very least he drew against Fury. I could see people legitimately arguing that. He didn't win the first 2 rounds. He won the third one with a 10-8 round. And then there's so many swing rounds when Fury did nothing that you could legitimately give him those rounds, I think. Do you think boxing is better than wrestling? In terms of... In what regards? I mean, professional wrestling as in the actual sport of wrestling, or as like a fighting style in a real fight? Also, I hope you've been well, Daya. As in, like, entertainment. Ooh. Hello, welcome in, Buncum. I hope you're well. Is it Bunkum or Buncum? Coom. Are you angry at boxing today? I'm very angry at boxing. It was a clown show. Bunkum. I will pronounce it properly and not say the naughty word. No. Thank you, Automot. Allow it. Wait. Added permitted term. Like, you know what? Whatever. It doesn't matter. No, Daya, it's not. To answer your question, Daya, Professional wrestling, I think, is more. I mean, it's entertainment. It's sports entertainment, and it probably is more entertaining. Although I will say, in a proper good boxing match, like anything with Joshua versus Usyk, anything with Inoue during the height of boxing with the golden era, um, even with Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, Lewis, or Lennox Lewis, I should say his full name. Even like just it's a when you get a good match, a good fight, it is really really great. I would say that on average, like sports entertainment, it's meant to be entertaining. There's storylines, although I will say WWE is often pretty shit. Although there was a period from about 2015, I think it was 2015, yeah, to about 2017, when WWE SmackDown and even Raw was fantastic. It was at the point when AJ came in and he was feuding with uh, Dean Ambrose and a load of other stuff, and it was just wacky and fun, and it felt like a genuinely entertaining show. But then they kind of just fell off and ruined it again. But yeah, Bunkum, I'm pretty angry at boxing today. There was just a clown show of a fight. I think I said that, but it was Fury versus Ngannou. Fury, the heavyweight boxing champion of the world, and Ngannou, an MMA fighter. And Fury disgraced the sport of boxing. He disrespected boxing, disrespected MMA, disrespected Ngannou for not even trying to train. I'm just mad at it. I'm mad at the whole thing. Redeemed. Oh, well, my name, Daya, is Rua Ua Quilta. Rua Ua Quilta. Don't don't worry about how that makes sense. Trust me, it does. But how have you guys been today? I hope you're less frustrated than I am. Rulor. Well, Mr. Bunkum, I am a half human, half Tuatha. Now, the Tuatha are the gods people of Ireland, who inhabited the island before the humans came in. Wait, I just joined. What's the frustration from boxing? It was boxing. Laughs a lot. Just a very very poor fight by someone who should be very very good. And the unfortunate thing is that I feel like what's happening with Fury is he's gone back on what I can only imagine is drugs, and he's not caring and he's not actually trying. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's a big build up for the Usyk fight, and then he just doesn't do it. And I really loved. Sorry, I should finish the lore dump rather than going on about boxing again. But I am half human, half Tuatha. The Tuatha are essentially God's people. Now, there's various ideas on where we might come from, and I'll leave you decide on which one. Some say we are half angels, some say or half fallen angels. Somewhere in between the fallen angels who rebelled against God, and rather that we didn't rebel, but we didn't join his side either. Some claim we are demons, or that we are similar to the pantheistic gods of Rome and Greece, the gods of the people who lived here before the Milesians arrived. The Milesians being the people who became the Gael or the Irish. Now I'm half human as well, and the man of my name, Quilta, was a very famous Fiannan warrior, second only to Fionn McCool himself. But thank you for the redeem. But yes, it was just a very, very shoddy boxing match. Laughs a lot. That at the highest level, it was just a joke, and it's annoying because this stuff is spreading all over. You have the influencer boxing as well, which is just even more annoying. I mean, it was fun the first couple of times. I won't lie. Just the zaniness and wackiness of it all. Although I personally actually preferred when what's his name, Logan Paul, was like in WWE. I think it was Logan, or maybe yeah, I think it was Logan. Like for as much as an idiot as he is, he's a pretty good entertainer. I'll have to give him that, and he's an athletic man, very very athletic. And he genuinely looked really good in the ring. Now, of course, he was with some of the best in the world, which probably helped. But I mean, he was willing to put his body on the line. I was very impressed with Logan in the WWE ring, and I still always laugh so hard when the Prime mascot at, I think it was WrestleMania, takes off the mask and it's KSI in a suit, and just KSI's face just makes me laugh so much every time. Hang on. I don't even watch these guys. I never watched them until like I heard about all their dramas and things. Prime suit face. Can I get a GIF? I wonder. Oh no, there isn't anything. It was silly fun anyway. How have you guys been though? Have you been well? I forgot to grab some water. No. Oh no, why not, Daya? I've been eepy. Maybe I'll move over to. I'm an EP boy. Midterm this week, thank God. Maybe I will move over to some like ASMR, like proper ASMR, not reading, just mic tapping, soft talking, so I can help Daya fall asleep. But I'm sure I hope it's nice and relaxing for you, laughs a lot. I'm definitely going to enjoy the thing. You can't fall asleep, like as in you're just really struggling to, or you have to stay up. Oh, poor Daya. Hang on. Not yet. It's too early. Hang on. Where's the... There you go. There you go, Daya. Have some head pats. I hope you feel... I hope... It's too early, though. If you're so tired, what kind of triggers do you use for ASMR? Well, typically when I'm doing ASMR, I usually just read, like, softly. But I've done proper ASMR a few times, and I like tapping on things, scratching the mic. Sometimes doing kind of light, kind of close breathing, I guess. Tapping on buttons, or I have an Xbox controller near me, so I make sounds with that. Ooh. You should get a. I will. I will allow it. You should get a nutsack, like a bag of nuts, and just jangle it. It's a real thing. I don't believe you. Let me look it up. Wait, no. How do I look this? How do I look this up? How do I look this up? Okay. I'm gonna type in. I'm gonna put it into incognito mode so it doesn't get in my my things. Nutsack ASMR. I think you're trying to pull a fast one on me, Daya. I think you're trying to pull a fast one. I think you're trying to spread some rats. I'm gonna look. Oh, it's a fem. Of course, it's a femoral rift. He just does weird things. He went off recently. He made a bunch of he like went insane for a while. He got in trouble, but that's neither here nor there. I think he released like an apology video. Oh, he does have a bag of nuts. Oh, that's nice. It's a burlap sack. I could look into getting a burlap sack. I can't promise it will be filled with various kind of nuts, like peanuts and whatever, pecans and stuff. But I will look into getting a burlap sack for you. It's so dumb. Um. Mm. Not not what you call it, but I guess you couldn't go off of anything else. So you kind of had to just go off what was inside of it. So we'll leave you off for that one, Daya. I have to go grab some water, so I will be back in 2 moments. Ooh. I am back. Hello, Clever. How are you? I got myself some water. Hang on, let me take a sip. Nice and refreshing. But yeah, Daya, I will try and find a burlap sack for you. But I don't know. I'll do something with that. Um, but I think I might do some ASMR. Some just like relaxing stuff. So let me change over my title. Yeah. Oh, and another reason why I was so angry at boxing. You want you want me to do heartbeat ASMR? Daya, that's very intimate. And I am someone who loves heartbeat ASMR, so I can't blame you for asking it, for requesting it. But mm, isn't it though? Like, doesn't it feel like when you're listening to heartbeat ASMR and you put your it's like you're resting on their chest. You're so close. Isn't that what it feels like? It's a very very close type of thing. I always think of it like that, and it makes it very comfy because it's like you're falling asleep. It's 10 times better as well when hang on, let me lower this a little bit. No, too low. I'm telling the birds to be a little quiet. There you go. Okay, now it works. Good. I hope everything's good. Hello, Clever. Yeah, Daya, that's how I always think. And then I know some people who do heartbeat ASMR, and then they gently, like with the setup with the ears, so they'll be heartbeat in one ear, and then they'll be gently breathing in the other, or kind of just breathing past it. So it feels like you're resting on their chest, and then all you have is like the. And it's so nice. It's so relaxing. But I hope you're well, Clever. But hang on. Let me just. I'm going to. Oh, oh, there we go. Taking a break before Asylum Demon. Is that like a game? It sounds very nice, but I think I'm going to move into doing some light ASMR because I suppose I'm not mad, so being forced to relax and calm down might help other people calm down. I'm I'm considering doing Heartbeat, but it's like it's this balancing thing where it's like I haven't been streaming for too long, and Heartbeat feels like something that's quite intimate, and my mic isn't the best for stuff. I could try and turn up the gain and see if maybe my heart would be louder, but first boss, you've got this. Oh, sorry, Asylum Demon of Dark Souls. You've got this. You've got this, clever. I thought like you meant Asylum Demon as like a game. But let's just see how some mic scratching sounds. Actually, wait, let me be able to hear my mic. Okay. I might just turn down a little. I also like very soft talking dialogue. Is that a sword? It is. It is. It's in a little sheath. even even though it was a I hope this is nice. But even though it was a very quick sketch, my friend Dance again did such an amazing job. He's so talented. You guys should go check him out. He makes some really cool art. I'm considering buying a proper ASMR mic. You're being hypnotized. Dia. Dia. Diamandis. Diamandis. I hope your fight against the boss goes well, clever. You'll first try him. Dia wears sunglasses because he's so cool. I always love when I see you streaming Mario, Dia, and you're dressed up as Mario. It's always so funny. What can I tap on? Let me know if the sound is nice or not. a couple months ago since I stopped biting my nails. I think I've my nails have gotten kind of longish, and I file them and cut them to keep them nice, but I like them a little bit long, and I think I've replaced my biting habit that I had with a tapping habit, or like just touching things with my nails. Because anytime I'm walking around now, I always have to be tapping things, be it a wall or a table or my phone. I'm just always scratching and tapping. I think maybe it's like a weird, soothing thing. Not the. God damn it, Daya. Not the fucking break. Ooh. Ooh. Emo. It's so. Ew. How did he get that? I know. It's called soup. Because he ate a lot of soup, I'm sure. What other triggers do you like, Daya? Or anyone else who is watching right now? Oh, no, I just realized. I forgot to turn on the fire. Or to make the fire. That was a hologram. You guys were seeing it now. Oh. I put the thing down too hard. I think I'm going to have to pick up a condenser mic, because then I can do the left right stuff. And I think, especially when you don't have stop, you don't have the advantage of visual ASMR, being able to create the binaural effect is very important. You know? Okay. I've been thinking on it a little bit. I'm considering doing the heartbeat. I'm not too sure, but maybe. That was loud. Is that no? No, not a fucking sussy mode. Among Us. I've actually never played that. You know, I've never played Among Us. I just never cared to play. I feel like though the VR Among Us game looks so silly. so funny. I think it would be a good crack. Very good crack. Mm, mm. Okay, I'm going to try it once. Okay. Let me. Okay, I'm gonna mute the mic while I move the microphone. Can you guys hear that? Can you guys hear the heartbeat? I will say in a moment. Diane. That's a funny one. Don't any of you be like measuring my heartbeat and tell me that it's like bad. You guys aren't doctors. Don't do that. Is it loud enough though? I could try and race the game. It might just be coming true as noise. Mm-hmm. It is. It might not be the most audible or clear
There's a lot of background noise. I've upped the gain a lot. Diane, I said explicitly not to do that. It is weirdly nerve-wracking. I said no, no. I was only messing. It's okay. I had said don't be like a doctor, you know. Don't don't like take my medicine and tell me it's bad. It's okay. It's okay, Diane. Don't. I'm a little nervous. It's weird having people listen to your heart, you know? Okay. Okay. I'm going to uh, turn off the mic again and put it back in. I had to. Oh, let me turn down the gain. Okay, there we go. That's good, I think. I had to. I had to wait a moment because when I put it in, all I heard on my output was ding, and I could see how long the vibration was lasting. It's a little nerve-wracking doing that. I hope it was at least nice. On my end, I could hear it pretty nice. You put what? Where? Oh, I put the microphone back into the arm stand. Sorry. I'm glad, Daya. I hope it helped relax you. When are you planning on going to sleep, Daya? Because you said it was too early, but it's getting quite. Hello, hello. Hi, Layla. How are you? Thank you so much for the first time chat. In a few hours, Daya, you have to stream, but you're so sleepy. What if you did like a sleepy stream? Like you went to sleep? Oh god, I have to remember. I have to be quiet. I'm sorry. I'm glad you enjoyed though, Layla. Thank you, welcome in. Daya is going to fall asleep. If he does, we can listen to Daya Diamandis breathing sleepy ASMR. No. I've fallen asleep on VC before. I imagine how embarrassing it would be if you fell asleep on stream. I mentioned before, no, actually, I don't think I did, but there's a Niji-san VTuber who does sleeping ASMR. You don't snore? How do you know, Daya? What if you have like a really loud snore, but no one ever tells you? You recorded. Oh, thank you for the stretch. Go. Let me crack my knuckles. There you go. You got some cracks. Crackalacks. Thank you so much, Millipan, for the stretch redeem. I used one of those phone ghost capturing apps. Well, maybe it didn't catch you because you're a ghost. You're not a ghost. But it's also good that you aren't haunted, Daya. What if you were doing that just to try and, record your sleeping? Record any snoring? But then you started hearing like ghost noises. It didn't catch anything. Those bald emotes are always so silly. I would rather not hear demons personally, Daya. I would rather not. I would stay far away from those things. I actually I'm a little bit of a superstitious person, you know. I'm not reading like my horoscopes or anything, but I'll be wary of stuff. Did you catch any sleep talking rather than snoring? Quiet as a mouse. Diamandus is a quiet little mouse. No Windows backup. I don't want to use you. That's a very cute emote. I always like it. The big smile. Yeah, what kind of spooky stuff? He's watching it for Halloween and getting all spooky. Did you guys know that Halloween began in Ireland? And that it was turnips that we used rather than pumpkins originally? So I'm guessing just like Samhain, exactly. Samhain. The story of the jack-o'-lantern goes something. Oh God, it was Stingy Jack is the name of the story. And I believe, if I remember it correctly, it's been a while since I've heard it told. There was a guy by the name of Stingy Jack, and he was quite a trickster. He would often trick people out of money, and he was a very bad person. But yet he knew he was a bad person, and he knew that when he was to pass from this world into the next, he was going to be sent to hell. But Jack was a smart person as well, and so he devised a scheme, a simple scheme that would allow him to stay out of hell. He managed to trick the devil himself into climbing a tree after him. I can't remember how exactly he did this, but once the devil was in the tree, he surrounded it with crosses and forced the demon, the devil, to promise. He is a little dumb. I mean, he tried to rebel against God. That in itself is kind of a dumb idea. But he made him promise that when he died, he would never admit him into hell. And the devil, stuck in the tree, begging to be let go, accepted this offer. And so Stingy Jack let him down, and off he went, continuing to live a life of debauchery and trickery. And so a couple of years passed, and Stingy Jack died eventually, and his soul carried up to heaven before the pearly gates, where he was refused entry. He couldn't understand this, but he could not get into hell, so he must surely get into heaven, he argued. But St. Paul denied him access, for he was a wicked and evil man, and cast him down to the gates of hell. But the demon, the devil, would not allow him entry either, for he had made a promise with Jack. He would never accept him into hell. But he did offer one thing to Jack. He offered him a simple torch. Oh, actually, sorry, there was one part that I forgot. In heaven, he pleaded to be allowed in, but he was denied. But I believe he was given the right to take something. I believe it was a light to guide his way. No, he was allowed to take something from one of the gardens there to provide him with something as he made his way to hell. I'm sorry, I don't remember the story completely, but once he got down to hell, he was denied access. But the devil, similarly, through, although I'm sure it was through Stingy Jack's way with words as well, managed to be convinced to allow him to take some kind of light, just like the fire in the background, the campfire. Of course, this is a fire of hell, eternally burning. And so Jack began to wonder. He placed the fire in his turnip. He took a turnip from the garden and began to, well, try and find somewhere. But for the soul, there is no place between heaven and hell. Stuck in a limbo, he would haunt the world of man, and it was only through placing of turnips with angry faces and other vegetables and other such things to scare away Stingy Jack and the other ghosts and demons that came out around the time of All Hallows Eve. And that's essentially, supposedly, the origin of the jack-o'-lantern. It was Stingy Jack. I will maybe do that. You are a great storyteller. If I would have thought to do so, if I would have had time before, being forced to watch a garbage boxing fight. I wasn't forced, but it was just disappointing. I would have tried to prepare a little better and would have read the actual story itself. But thank you so much, Layla. I'm glad you enjoyed. I often do book readings, if those are things you, enjoy. I think I might try and find a couple of spooky stories to read. I think just like reading random spooky stories. So, did people used to throw toilet paper on houses then too? No, I think that happened after toilet paper became very good for throwing all over houses. I think the Americans probably started that one. Although I don't know. I wonder when the first instance of that was. I guess people took the whole trick or treat thing pretty seriously when they were denied their candy. I personally would love that. Oh, thank you. I will I might try and find some stuff to do some reading. I also tried to do, I'm tapping on the screen of my phone. I hope it's a nice sound. What's your favorite candy? Ruad. You're missing a H, Daya. Silly. The sound is pleasant. That's good. Good job, Daya. You got it right that time. My favorite. Ooh, I would have to say a double decker is my favorite chocolate bar. It is so good. Although then again, Lindt chocolate bunnies are the tastiest things. I always love Easter and Christmas because you'll get chocolate bunnies or chocolate reindeers with Lindt, and it's the best. But a double decker, so you guys might not have it. It's a kind of not crunchy. How would you describe it? It's milk chocolate with like a crunchy top half and a marshmallowy. Ooh, it's nougat actually. It's nougat. It's a very soft kind of nougaty filling on the bottom half. It's so good. It's so good, but they're so heavy. It is. It's so tasty. Layla, what type of triggers do you like? How would you rank white, dark, and milk chocolate? I would probably. I really like dark chocolate, but there's a lot of milk chocolate that's also really good as well. White chocolate comes at the bottom for me, but I do still like it. We have very different opinions. I've heard in America the chocolate is very, very bad. What's that emote? Fleeting. Oh, well, you're wrong, Daya. No amount of cute little pleading will. Milk chocolate plus white chocolate is better than dark chocolate for me. I don't like bitter stuff. That's fair. I understand that. I've definitely had dark chocolate that's too strong. Wow, you guys do not like dark chocolate. I like it. You can't have too much dark chocolate, I find. White chocolate. I'm gonna ban all of you guys. There's too many of you. My love likes it. I'm glad your love likes it, Clever. And welcome in. Thank you for the first time, chat Dojin Patchy. Welcome in, welcome in. I will stamp out this revolt with unnecessary violence against the white chocolate heathens. I'll make the Inquisition look like a stroll in the park. I'm glad Lancelot agrees with me. It's only okay. Good to see you, Ruad. I'm glad to see you in chat as well. Although it's RUADH. I made cookies today with milk chocolate and white chocolate cookies. Delicious, if I do say so myself. I had a very lovely cinnamon bun this morning. I love them for. I will say white chocolate. White chocolate does sound good. It's okay, Doshin. Daya did the same thing. Many people, I think, get confused how to say my name, and their way of pronouncing it becomes how they spell it. Meant chocolate chip. I assumed you meant chocolate chip. That sounds really nice. I also buy it. Got T72 chocolate from a tank museum. Oh, that sounds so cool, Clever. Was it like, I hope it was like super detailed. The H gives it a bit of edge. Yeah, the DH is silent. Exactly, Daya. Rua. Well, I guess you could kind of go like Rua, like try and pronounce the H a little bit, but you don't have to. I think it sounds a little off. Rua, Ua, Quilta. Rua. Yeah, you can kind of go like like but you know, either one, Rua or Rua. And then don't even try to figure out why Quilta is spelled with a Q. It's okay. Don't worry your heads about it. Uh, I love there's some hot chocolate places. Well, they're like a chocolate company that do hot chocolate, and they'll give you a tiny little basket on top of your hot chocolate coffee cup or cup that has, and you can choose whether to have little white chocolate, milk chocolate, or dark chocolate buttons in them, and then you can open up your hot chocolate, and pour them in, or you can just eat them like a little snack alongside your hot chocolate, and it's so good. It's the best. What's up? What's up? How are you? I hope. I feel like this. Oh my god, I have to remember not to drop things. I'm always doing it. I'm good. That's good to hear. What's up? I feel like there's a lot of people today. Maybe I should stream later. No, I'm thinking tomorrow I might try and stream early, like an early stream, and then also stream late again. So 2 streams in one day. That might happen, but I'm not too sure. At the very least, I know I'm going to be able to stream today, or not. Well, I guess yeah, today it is Sunday, technically now, but Sunday night, and I'm going to try and stream Monday night as well. I think it should be good, and I'll try and get some stuff over the week as well. Oh no, what? Daya, are you like struggling to stay asleep, awake right now? I probably won't be able to make the later stream. It's okay, what's up? Your presence here is always appreciated. Don't worry. Will you stream games? That's what I was thinking. Maybe the early stream can be like a gaming stream, or either one. I would like to try and stream some games. I just worry that I won't. I don't know. uh, it can be. You should try Stardew Valley. I I'm trying to be supportive here, Layla. He's got a stream ahead of him. Got a stream ahead of him. What if he does just fall asleep? Oh no, now he's crying. Look what you've done. It's okay, Daya. Hang on. Let me pat you. Pat your head. Your ASMR is too oh, I'm glad you enjoy it, Layla. Thank you so much. You should play Stardew Valley. I've seen it. It looks relaxing. It looks comfy. I was thinking of maybe playing like Neo Scavenger or something. It's a very interesting kind of roguelike survivor game. My leg. It has multiplayer too. Ooh. I would not have the foggiest idea how to play it. I know it's a game that takes. I feel like it's a game that would probably take quite a couple of hours to get like deep into. But I was never a big base builder type person. I know it's not like a. I know it's not like a deep base builder, but it is. It does still seem. I think it's like an like typical RPG with a base. So I don't know. Let me see what other type of games I have actually, real quick. Oh, oh, that's not moving me. Okay. Binding of Isaac, Team Fortress, Kingdom Classic could actually be a pretty enjoyable game to stream. I think it would be really nice just to sit back and chat, you know? Foxhole could be interesting. Backpack Hero. Ooh, I know, oh god, you guys might have saw that. I know Koikawa K was playing some Backpack Wars game, something like that. that seemed very similar, but it was like a multiplayer game. So I want to look into that. It looks pretty cool. Never figured out how to actually play it properly. I've done okay. I've managed to survive quite a good bit of time in it, but I didn't do too well in the later versions. I didn't realize there was like seasons and stuff, and that kind of beat me up. Love TF2 too. You can't. For as little love as it's gotten from the developers from Steam, it's still probably the greatest team game of all time. It is the epitome and the archetype rolled into one. Just like how Binding of Isaac is like the epitome of roguelikes, you know. Got real confused when the clock just turned back. I was just looking at that. I was very confused as well. I was like, what? I thought I started streaming at like 10 to 1. But no, the clock went back. So they erased my hour of streaming. I've only been streaming for 15 minutes, guys. I'm so mad. They literally just deleted my stream. Daylight savings. It's so over. Extra hour in bed. Nice and cozy. Yeah, Daya, we switched over to, we moved back an hour. Here in Ireland, and in the UK as well, I think. Do they do that? I can't remember. Oh, I even forgot that that was going to happen. It happens in Layla. Where are you from the US? Oh, 2 seconds. Ah, Portugal. Ah, oh, ooh, nice. I was never in Portugal, but I was in Spain for a little bit. Small Europe. I know where Portugal is. It's like Spain's little brother. I'm joking. A lot of people don't. Ah, fair. The US people usually don't know about us. Really? It's so weird. To be fair, you know, I always think of, even though to be fair, it should be kind of basic geographic knowledge, but at the same time, you know, I don't know much about the states of the US of A. I know some things. I know California. I know New York. I know Texas, Maine. I know Washington is at the very corner. Alaska is all the way up, like not even connected to the mainland of the US. Well, to the mainland of the main states. It's connected to Canada. You have Hawaii. I haven't been around to the US. I haven't been to the US before, but I just know the areas a little bit. I could name some of them, but I wouldn't do well with a map. You know, if you gave me a blank map with just the state lines, I would be struggling. I have been to Poland. I've been to France. I've been to England. I've been to Austria, and I guess I was in Germany, but I only just traveled through Germany to get to Austria. Austria and Poland. Well, I was in Krakow. Krakow is a beautiful, beautiful city, as is where I was in Austria. But those cities are so beautiful. I really enjoyed my time there. The salt mines of Krakow were amazing as well. You go down so deep, you're walking for so long, and then you start to feel the taste of salt on your mouth in the air. I also tasted some of the water that was dripping past, and ugh, it made me like, ah. You are from I am Layla. I am from Ireland. Although I feel like I don't know how strong my accent is. I do sort of, you couldn't live in a more, oh, die, 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 die. Only because you are a fellow tuba. I'm gonna do it once and never again. Unless I'm like making fun of people saying it. Top of the morning. No wait. Should I put on like a high diddly tea accent? I think so. Top of the morning to you, Diamandis. Top of the morning. There you go. There you go, Dia. You couldn't live in a more magical country. There is a lot of beautiful spots in Ireland. I won't lie. No, he's gonna clip it. No, it's so over. It's so over. There are a lot of beautiful spots in Ireland. If you ever visit, I would highly suggest do not spend all your time in Dublin. There are some nice things to see in Dublin, but as a capital city, like any capital city, there is a lot of issues, and it is not the nicest place, to say the least. There is some nice areas, but I would suggest getting out into the countryside, into nature, exactly. If you have the time, go hiking. Go to Carron particularly, is a lovely hike. As well, of course, the various cliffs and stuff, and go see Newgrange, possibly. Some of the old castles, like the Rock of Cashel, which was the seat of the kings of Munster for thousands of years. Oh God, who was the family who lived there? One of the unfortunate things is many of the castles are quite dilapidated. I guess they don't refurnish them to show us what they may have looked like, or what they did look like, because they would probably have the plans and stuff. But rather they allow them to just be in the state they are, probably, trying to keep it maintained so it doesn't continue to fall apart. But sometimes I wonder how good it might be. But it's still amazing when you step in a place and it is, from the 6th, 7th, 8th century AD. Definitely, Layla. I think, and of course there are some people who aren't, but I think in general Irish people quite enjoy tourists. I know I've known quite a few people from Portugal, and they've always been very sound and very nice. So I think you would have a great time here. I'm sure you would. No, it's so over. Moldy, blinding yak velociraptor. What? What? What is that? What is that link? I know it's linking to the clip, but what a weird clip. I don't know. Twitch is weird. I'm very confused. Oh God, I'm sorry. That's probably making so much noise. I need to get a new phone case. It is falling apart right now. Layla, where would you recommend to go visit in Portugal? I would like to visit there sometime. Although I don't do well with heat. I'm not someone who enjoys the heat. I much prefer the cold. Sintra is the most beautiful city in my opinion. I actually don't think I've heard. It has great monuments blended perfectly with nature. That is so nice. For as nice as the Irish landscape is with its rolling fields and green, very green fields, I will not lie. Um, One of the saddest aspects of the Irish natural landscape is how little natural forest land there is. Much of the forest land is, you know, grown for cutting. There is no underbrush that supports a vast ecosystem of various things. It's just boring trees to be cut down. There's only a few spots. Actually think Ireland has some of the lowest native tree land in all of Europe. It's very disappointing. I know that there's a project called Rewild Ireland, and I support it immensely. I want to look into how I can actually support it proper. But it would definitely be something that would be I would love to see happen proper. A lot of palaces, gardens, castles, and huge trees, green everywhere. I'm going to have to look this place up. Sintra. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. Sintra. It sounds beautiful. Porto, Portuguese, London. Oh, Porto. Portuguese, London, kinda. And Grace, if you are into mountains. I like mountains. Mountains are cool. We don't have many mountains in Ireland. We do have some. We we have in Kerry, on a certain road. There's well, not a certain road, but in an area. Oh, that's good. I'm glad. There's two mountains that look suspiciously like a a woman's breasts. They're kind of like a little highlight when you're traveling through Kerry. You often see it, and you're like, it's the titty mountains. I think they've actually been tied to supposedly being Danan's breasts, or supposedly a place where the Tuatha Dé, who later became known as the Tuatha Dé Danann, the god peoples of Danann, either originated from or primarily lived, because the Tuatha Dé, after the ascent of the Milesians and the kind of collapse of the Tuatha Dé, went to live underground. So they say that those mountains are particularly important, but there's some issues with the idea of Danann. She isn't necessarily referenced in the oldest stories we have anywhere, and seems more likely to be a late addition. I will leave you guys to wonder whether that's true or not, in regards to the various stories. Lisbon is the capital, but I don't like it much. A lot of people do, though. I understand. Yeah, capitals can often be kind of. And I think as well, so many capitals are the same. Just because they are the capitals, they're the place where the most amount of people live, and it can be quite impersonal. I feel like if you want to experience a country and a culture proper, you should try and get away from the capital, into the countryside and the kind of smaller cities. There, I think, is where you'll see the proper things. Of course, the capitals and the big cities are good for going partying and stuff, if that's your style. But I'm not necessarily that type of person. Niagara Falls would have been a good place for a capital. That would be quite the image. Massive city built with an absolutely massive waterfall in the background, or is like kind of connected to the city. But I have no idea about city placement. I don't know what makes a good city or not. Well, I guess I do understand that, like a connection to seas, river, transportation, flat land, obviously. I feel like one of the things that I don't like about big cities is the lack of greenery around them, which is why Sintra sounds so nice. I often find that when you're in big cities, they can they can feel quite cramped. There's so many big buildings, and the suburbs and stuff seem to stretch far beyond. Mm, mm. I was kind of thinking that a little, that there's there's an aspect of turning a place into a big, massive habitable area for humans, but nature untouched is beautiful. Not untouched, for humans are part of nature, and failing to see the connection we have with it is incorrect in my opinion as well. But certainly, nature shouldn't be exploited in the way it is. And of course, if there was a massive city on Niagara Falls, it would likely not do well for the water quality there, for instance. Huh. Sorry, I just saw an update on my phone. Technoblade's dad uploaded a video. I miss him. He was a really great streamer. Mm. Or not streamer, sorry, YouTuber, just Minecraft YouTuber in general. I'm glad his dad. The first time that his dad kind of uploaded something, I felt a little odd about it. I felt like it would have just been good to allow the channel to sit as is at the very end, his last video. But the more I kind of watched, the more I saw this is a good way for everyone to be able to connect and enjoy Technoblade more. To always remember him, and to keep things like charity work going. He did do a ton of effort to raise it, even in his last days. So he was a really, really amazing person. I won't lie. Sorry, I got kind of distracted there for a little bit. I was going to say it's getting kind of late, but it isn't, because the clock's rolled back. Let me take a drink. They're messing with me a lot. Thank you, lass, a lot. I could use a stretch. Are any of you guys going out for Halloween? Maybe you're going trick or treating, or you're going to a costume party. I saw Rina in a fairy costume on her Twitter. It looked so nice. The costume itself was very pretty, and the I love the color of the wings. Although I think they were even greener, because there was like a dark green in the background, so it was kind of highlighting the bright green on her wings, and then the butterflies in the hair, I thought, were really cute. Were just a very cute addition. Although I did find it very funny that she had like an Apple Watch at the same time, and the iPhone. I was like, I didn't realize Apple had expanded their reach into the fairy worlds. I went to a costume party on Friday. Nice, what's up? Did you dress up as anything? Well, I assumed you had to dress up as something. Maybe you just went as what's up. One of our friends was in Iceland, so we FaceTimed him so he could enjoy. Oh, that's very sweet. That's very sweet. I'm glad you guys did that. I'm sure he misses partying with you guys. What did you dress up as? If it's something bad, just be like, yeah, I dressed up in something cool. I dressed up as a vampire yesterday. It was the Halloween costume day before the midterm. One of the four. Oh, that's so cute. I bet all like the kids were dressed up in really cute costumes. Oh, that's boring. I remember when I was in a class in secondary school, one of my family members had a old Anchorman outfit with like the hair and the mustache and like a big red suit. So I took that with me and dressed up. I came in completely normal, and then I changed halfway through the day, and everyone like they thought it was very funny. We don't celebrate much in our country, unfortunately. Oh, but I love it's fun. It's fun to see people. I personally love like when it is actually Halloween night, and you see all and like all the kids are knocking to the door, and you see them all in their little cute costumes, and they're super excited, and they're like trick or treat, and you get to be like, ah, and what are you? Ah, you're a witch. Oh my god, don't. Or like they'll be like a cowboy or something, and they'll like shoot at you. And I always love to pretend like I was shot, or they're like casting a spell at me, and I'm like, ah. I'm like, oh no, please don't kill me. I'll give you some candy. Here you go. Fella brought in a go kart while dressed as Mario. Oh my god. Or costume day is Carnival, so Halloween isn't celebrated. Ah, Carnival. Let me look that up. Whoa, that looks so colorful. Oh my god, look at the colors. Look at the outfit. Oh, you guys should look up Carnival. Oh, and there's all like parades and floats. That's really cool. I was in the I was in a parade once. Whoa, those women are showing a lot of skin. Uh, you're probably seeing the Brazilian one though. In Brazil, it is massive. Ah, it may have been. Well, I typed in Portugal Carnival, so I'm sure I was mainly seeing stuff from there. But I'm sure some ones from Brazil were getting into. But it looks really cool. I'll look into it later. We just celebrate the same. That influence. Excuse me. Uh, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, I've been in a parade before, like as a participant. I was in one of the Dublin parades. We were dressed up as like colorful things. It was very fun. It was really fun. I remember. I think what I really enjoyed about it was at sometimes we stopped during the parade because like other people were moving through and people were, sometimes you'd just be waiting for a bit. So you'd often like you'd be dancing around and then I'd go up to like the side. I feel like it's interesting when you're in a costume and your face is painted and stuff. You kind of don't worry about like looking silly because you already look silly. So like you don't worry about going up and talking to someone. So I was like really chatty, which was very different to how I was around that time. So I'd go up and I'd be like talking to all the American tourists and all the other people, a load of other tourists and stuff. It was a really fun day actually. I really enjoyed it. Oh my god, I'm yawning so much. I kind of yelled there. Uh, and did Carnival? Ooh, that's a good question actually, Layla. Or WhatsApp. Layla, did Carnival originate in Portugal and was then carried over, or was it the opposite way around? The origin was here. I'm not too surprised. I feel like I wonder how much from Brazil did transfer over to Portugal because I feel like it would have been much more. The majority of the cultural transfer would have been from Portugal to Brazil, but maybe in times like kind of modern times it's a little bit different with more Brazilians coming over to Europe at times. You know, we have Caretos. Caretos. I'm just making up how these things are pronounced. A very old costume. Let me look it up. Portugal Caretos. Oh, that was the thing. I was like, whoa, it's so colorful. It looks mad. Oh my god, they're burning something. The masks are so cool as well. It's so fluffy. They say it has Celtic origins. I know there's a theory that the Milesians came from the north of Spain and kind of Portugal, kind of that region. I'm not so sure if it would be. I think it would be more the north of Spain, but that's where supposedly the first kind of Celtic Irish would have set sail from to arrive in Ireland. But there's so many different stories of uh, of where the Irish originated. Some say that from very far back, that it was the marriage of a Scythian king, or a Scythian prince, I should say, and an Egyptian princess by the name of Eru, that led to the Irish people. I think that's going back into the Book of Invasions, though, the Laura Gobla Éireann, or the Laura Era. Oh, what is it in Irish again? Book of Invasions, Irish. The Laura Gavala, that's it. Ah, it's just a general, uh, kind of like epic. It's like an origin legend. The aim of it was to essentially explain the origin of the Irish people in relation to the Bible, to try and give them, because the Irish did not seem to appear in it. They also made up some pretty, or came up with some interesting stories, like oh god, what was his name again? Mm, Most likely a mix of Indo-European and Neolithical people living on the island. And yeah, that's pretty much the relationship between Brazil and Portugal. That's pretty much how that spread. Which was why I was thinking it was more likely that the majority of any sort of cultural exchange would have occurred from Portugal over to Brazil. But yeah, I know that there's some very interesting genetics when it comes to Ireland, but I haven't looked at it in a while, so I'd like to see it again, because I do think we definitely have some distinctions in terms of like, uh, we were never conquered by the Romans, or certain groups for a long time, so our genetic base is a little different from the majority of Europe, which had a lot more going on. At least I think so, anyway, from what I've heard. And of course, we have the whole red hair thing going on, which is you were not conquered by the Romans. We were not, Layla. The Romans only ever extended up to. Did they take over Wales? I'm not too sure if they did, but they only. There was. You probably know Hadrian's Wall. They never really tried to invade us. I think that we did trade with them. There have been Roman coins and such found in Ireland, but we were essentially, it was kind of like with Scotland as well. There wasn't nominal control. Yeah, yeah. Their sphere of influence definitely extended over it, I imagine. But it was seen as not probably not worth it to try and invade an island that was at like at the very corner of the world. We were so conquered by the Romans. We have ruins from there. You guys were kind of brought in. You guys were originally, wasn't Spain and Portugal originally a Carthaginian area? I'm pretty sure it was. Although maybe Portugal would have been one of the various tribes that kind of supported Rome, because there was a lot of different groups. Uh, I don't know if Carthaginian. I don't know if Carthaginian influence extended that far into that side of Spain, because I know they controlled a significant portion of Spain, and that was kind of um, why there was fighting there. Obviously, why why various Roman legions had to fight against the Carthaginians in that region. Why Hadriel had to be driven out. I'm glad that Clever is here. He can fill in the areas that I'm like lacking. I'm gonna save that name so I can do a bunch of reading in bed later. Virato. Viriatos. Ooh. Ooh. Was the most important leader of the Lusitanians that resisted Roman expansion into the regions of western Hispania, as the Romans called it, or western Iberia, as the Greeks called it, where the Roman province of Lusitania would be finally established after the conquest. I am going to read about that. I'm definitely going to read about that. Thank you for the thing to read about. But yeah, often you either accepted Roman rule or you were wiped out. I called Lusitanos. It's actually so cool that extends so far from the past. Like despite Rome controlling it for so long and for so many things, that is still an aspect that is held on to. Well, I guess the Romans kind of named them, but I imagine that their name was based off of what they call themselves as well. It was just the Latinized version of it. I don't know if it's true, but with the Romans, I heard that they did not actually have the C sound. So Julius Caesar name was actually pronounced like Kaiser, and I would assume would be the inspiration for the German Kaiser and such. That's exactly what it is. I can't be certain about Roman, but I can definitely tell you that ancient Greece was always the hard C sound. They didn't have. I do think actually that Rome didn't have it either. The hard or the soft C in Latin and in Greece, specifically in Latin, I'm quite sure, developed with the what would you call it? The church pronunciation. It was just something that just happened over time, and they would pronounce certain C's with a softer sound rather than the hard K sound. So, for example, rather than being what's a good example of a Greek word with like K? Oh God, I'm like Caesar's a good one. Yeah, Caesar, Kaiser, Kaiser, I guess maybe something like that. Um, what was actually interesting, and I do know this, is that actually one of the around the 6th to 9th centuries, 10th centuries, Ireland was a very, very influential place in regards to saints and scholars. It became known as the island of saints and scholars. Their monastery system was very different from what was on the mainland, and actually there was kind of this idea of the Celtic church that was in some way distinct from the Catholic church, but I'm not too sure how true those distinctions were. But what developed was Ireland always kept the hard K sound. They were known that their pronunciation of Latin, ecclesiastical Latin, that was the word I was looking for. Ecclesiastical Latin introduced that soft C, I believe. Well, it developed within ecclesiastical Latin, but Ireland retained it. And there's actually a story about. It's a very funny story. I was reading it recently about two during the court of Charlemagne. There was some visitors from Ireland. Here it is. I think we'll just read this. So the Carolingians, linguistics enable us to go further by investigating, as it were, what material it is made of. The reference here is to the individual sounds of a word and how those sounds are spelled when the word is written down. Ecclesiastical. What a hard word to spell. Fair, fair. It would definitely throw one for a loop. Exactly because the matters border on the abstruse, it is precisely these that, when systematically decoded, can produce the most revealing insights. Several such insights can be regained in connection with the fate of a figure at the medieval Carolingian court who is known as Caddic Andreas, or Battling Andrew. So, for those of you who may not know, the Carolingian period refers to the reign of Charlemagne, and kind of onwards for a bit. Charlemagne was pretty much the Frank who created the Holy Roman Empire. Pretty important. Pretty important. It was around the late 8th century, wasn't it? Yeah, late 8th century. I think the 1780s, something like that. It was around that period, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think it was like the late 8th century that he kind of rocked around. But he was so influential that many scholars went to his court. His area became quite an influential place of learning. So there was this guy, Kadak Andreas. This was an Irishman. It seems appropriate enough to introduce him on this particular website. This is the journal Classics Ireland. I'll have to look that up. The man Caddic Andreas came from Ireland to the royal court of Charlemagne, probably sometime around the turn of the 9th century, and had the misfortune that his time there coincided with that of Theodulf of Orleans. Theodulf was a writer skilled in poetic forms and a learned theologian, and was the second most distinguished scholar at the court after Alcuin. I believe Alcuin was an English theologian or scholar of some kind. One particular poem he wrote runs to 244 lines, beginning with praise of the emperor and his family, and turning to pithy word pictures of about a dozen of Theodulf's fellow courtiers, among whom was the Irishman in question. Against him, Theodulf mounts a clever satirical attack. Here are the relevant lines of his poem. And he has it in Latin, but I don't speak Latin, but he also has an English version. If son Albionus was here, I could hand this over to him, or if Merle was here, they could read it for me, but alas, it cannot be, so I must read the translated English version. It goes something like this in English. This man shall pay his penalty or flee like the south wind. However different he may try to be, he is nothing but a Scotus. If you take away, therefore, from the letter which is third in the alphabet, and which happens to stand second in that, his designation, Scotus, the letter that in Calo sounds first and which in Scando comes second, third in Ascendus, fourth in Amicitus, the letter he stumbles upon often enough, in place of which he presses into service the letter standing for Salus. Then, without doubt, what he says he will also be. Now that's a little confusing, no doubt, but the article does explain it. Can we see what Theodulf is saying? If from the term Scotus, meaning a Gael, a speaker of Irish, coming from the term Scot, of course, so that was originally what they would have called the Celtic people or the people of Ireland. Scotland became known as Scotland because around the time that it was the Dalriata of Northern Ireland. I don't mean Northern Ireland as in Northern Ireland, just the north of Ireland. They were a tribe, the Dalriata, who invaded Scotland and pretty much took over the area with the Picts. but they became known as Scots as well. But if the term Scotus, meaning a Gael, a speaker of Irish, we remove the letter C, then we get Battling Andrew's pronunciation of the word. Unfortunately for him, making this change in Latin has the same effect as taking the C out of Scot in English. The man was a sot, and his pronunciation meant that he called himself one too. But what general peculiarity of his speech led him to commit this particularly embarrassing solecism? Solecism. If we analyze Theodulf's criticism carefully, we can see that Andrew's actual fault was not so much that he failed to pronounce the C in Scotus, but rather, and this comes to the same as following an S as in that word, that he sounded the C as if it were another S. In other words, as what we call soft C, when it occurs in English words like celestial and ascent, to use examples related to those given in the poem. Now, readers who do happen to have studied classical Latin at some stage will know that, in that language, the letter C was always pronounced as a hard K sound. Ah, there we go. So, at first sight, one might think that Theodulf was mocking Andrew for not being aware of this. Kind of off topic and uncultured Brit here, but why is Ireland split between Ireland and Northern Ireland? Never learned it in school or anything. That's quite a broad topic spanning roughly about 800 years. Essentially, I'll basically say that after the colonization of Ireland, and I will get back to the little story because I think it's quite interesting with the topic we are talking about with the hard C. No, it's okay. What's up? It's okay. After the colonization of Ireland by England, and after the 9 Years' War, the revolt by the great Hugh O'Neill, and the flight of the Earls, the English crown kind of realised that Ireland was beginning to become a bit of an issue, and so proceeded to attempt these things that we refer to as plantations. Plantations were essentially attempting to get landowners and wealthy individuals, and many just general farmers or not farmers, but like just a lot of people, to move from places like England and Scotland and Wales, primarily Scotland for Northern Ireland, or what would become Northern Ireland, to move to various areas in Ireland. And then the English crown also used their military might to shunt the native Irish into places like Connacht and deprive them of land and property. And there was all various things like certain laws, the penal laws and stuff. Now, these plantations were not particularly successful in the primary areas of Ireland in the west and the south. In these areas, for one reason or another, various revolts were successful in essentially killing and driving out various groups. And while that did happen in the north, it essentially wasn't successful. What would later become pretty much the Protestant, and that was kind of one of the main things as well, that the English and the Scottish that came over were Protestant, while the Irish were English, or while the Irish were Catholic, not English. The English were English. So essentially the plantations of Munster and of Leinster failed essentially, for the most part, while the one in Ulster pretty much succeeded, with the primary landowners and many of the people living there being Protestants or being Irish Catholics who converted to it. Yeah, that was very dumb. But that was essentially what the plan was. It was actually to turn Ireland into a little England, or at least to change the demographics of the area and the people living there to be much more conducive to English interests, to not have this constantly revolting, especially after the 9 Years' War, which to be quite honest, the Irish, if Kinsale had turned out differently, we might have had a completely different history. Very, very different. But alas, it didn't, at least from my point of view. Maybe the English are quite happy that they managed to defeat Hugh and the Spanish supporters. But this carried through into later on, and then you have the Irish War of Independence, the Easter Rising, and all this stuff that happens. And then you have the Good Friday Agreement, which essentially brings an end to the Irish War for Independence, at least from the view of the Republic of Ireland. But the North, because it was filled with people who were Protestant and who wanted to remain in the UK, they didn't want to be separated from the UK. A vote was held which passed in certain counties in Northern Ireland, and some people refer to Northern Ireland as Ulster, but it's not necessarily Ulster. It's only a part of Ulster, and Ulster is the northern province. And essentially, those areas that voted, and some others like kind of extended. There were some areas where there was still an Irish majority, but well, not a majority, but a significant Irish contingent. But they were taken along with the people who voted to stay in the UK, and they opted out. So they were initially a part of the Irish Republic, but they opted to stay in the United Kingdom, and that's why there is the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland as a country, a part of the UK. Now, for a long time, the Irish government saw their claim of government as extending to all the island, and there was an aim for reunification, and that still is always on the table. But after then you're getting into things like the Troubles, the IRA, the PIRA, and the various splinter groups that happened, and a lot of stuff, and that's getting a little too far. But I hope that was a decent explanation. No worries, no worries. Where was I? Oh yes. So the letter C was always pronounced as a hard K. So one at first sight might think that Theodulf was mocking Andrew for not being aware of this. However, given his date and location, we know that Theodulf would himself have pronounced a Latin C before front vowels, that is, AE, E, I, OE, and Y, in the non-classical soft fashion that resembles S. So this would have applied in the poem's words Kalo, Ascensus, and Amasitus. No different from Andrew there, but before the other so-called back vowels, that is A, O, and U, Theodulf's Latin C would have continued to have its classical pronunciation, just as in English before those vowels, like a K. In the poem, this would have applied to Scando, and crucially, to Scotus itself, or Scotus. What Andrew is being mocked for is pronouncing C in a soft fashion in all environments, including these, and so saying Sando and Sotus, including these, and so saying Sando and Sotus. Why did he do that? Modern scholarship has tended to go astray on the question. And this is kind of an interesting thing that the author suggests, that it's the West Brit syndrome 1200 years ago. Because modern scholars responsible have tended to assume that Andrew's position was something to do with his having had an Irish accent, but closer inspection shows that this cannot be right. First of all, within their own language, the Irish were perfectly capable of managing a K-type pronunciation before back vowels. Plenty of Irish vernacular words that reach us from Andrew's time, such as cam, meaning crooked, cosk, meaning prevention, scaw, meaning shade, and so on, all spoken as if spelled with a K. But also, then as now, the Irish even had the hard sound before front vowels. The C is pronounced like a K in venerable Irish words such as Kyle and Skith, and always has been. Why should this not have applied to their Latin as well? At the time when Latin was first introduced into Ireland, that is, hundreds of years before the Carolingian period, which we have in mind now, all of its occurrences of the letter C, no matter the position, had still enjoyed their original, classical, hard pronunciation, as there were no subsequent softening of the corresponding sounds in the Gaelic vernacular of English, unlike what happened on the continent. There is no reason to suspect that anything changed in Ireland later. All evidence is that in Carolingian times, a literate, Latinate Irishman would still generally have pronounced all instances of the Latin letter C in a rather classical manner, retaining the hard sound, K, not only in words like Scotus and Scando, but also in all the items in the poem where continentals like Theodulf had moved to using a soft sound, such as Selo, Asenzu, and Amasitis. So why do we find Andrew doing the exact opposite? The answer is somewhat revealing and tells us a lot about individuals' unconscious attitudes towards being Irish. Andrew's own, but also that of at least one modern scholar who has analysed this poem. Essentially what they're saying is that I feel like there was more to this. I could have sworn that there was another bit. But essentially, the idea. Oh, hello. Hello. Pretty much what's up. Hello, Weibo. Nagano won that. I don't necessarily know if I agree if Nagano won it. There was a lot of rounds where neither really did anything, and you could be like, well, I guess Fury landed the cleaner shots. Nagano might have done something. I actually wouldn't have disagreed with a draw, though. I wouldn't have disagreed with a draw. I think Fury edged it on points. I could see it being 95-95 or 96. I could definitely see why people would think Nagano won, though. I guess if you give Nagano, 4 rounds? Gypsy King finally met his match. Let me put it this way. He disgraced the sport of boxing and completely disrespected Nagano and boxing and all the fans and everyone who has ever supported him because he did not try. And what I mean by that is he did not train. He did not even put any effort into the fight beyond just being able to do what he usually does in terms of he can box for 10 rounds. He looked so sloppy. He looked so overweight, so off balance, just everything. And I think I guess just for me as someone who sees this fight, sorry, I talked about this earlier in the stream, but the Nagano versus Fury fight was always going to be a clown show. But for me, it's just a sense of that Nagano deserves respect. Fury should have came in and prepared. He doesn't have to prepare like he's facing Usyk, but he should have at least been fit. Yeah, I have a worrying feeling that he's going back on that he's partying too much and that he's not in a good space. Because to be quite honest, Fury, at the level of boxing that he is at, should be capable of beating Nagano. Doesn't matter what, he should be capable of beating Nagano, unless the fight against Wilder has taken a lot. No, because he has beaten much better competition, even after the fight, even after all the punches he's taken. He should be more than capable of defeating Nagano. But then on the flip side, and this is why he disrespected Nagano, this is why I'm saying this, Nagano clearly trained for this. He put a lot of effort, a lot of preparation, a lot of game planning into this. This wasn't just something that he was just doing for the payday and he was like, I'll just go in there and do something. No, he came in with a plan. He took it seriously. And Fiore just, I don't know. I know people could say, like, and I've often said it before, that, like, oh, a boxer looks, he was. But I imagine that he was genuinely training hard. This was something he had always wanted to do, to fight and on the big stages of boxing. Um, it's just, I don't know. It angers me. I, especially because I was a fan of the Gypsy King. I was a fan of Fury, especially after the Wilder fights. And I think everyone was. Everyone loved the story. Everyone loved the comeback story. But then, when people could be like, "Oh, he talked too much," and he got a bit like, and you can shrug your shoulders at that. Like, look, that's just his personality. When he's on top and he's doing all of the talking, people might not like that. But that's just entertainment. That's just what it is. But it just feels like as time has gone on, he's just done more and more things that are so annoying. In comparison then to Usyk, uh, I love Usyk. Usyk's style is so good. It's so good. He is one of the best boxers. Hello, welcome in, Jonathan Ramos. Tu vois et moi, relajante. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but I don't know what that means. I apologize. Let me. We are an English only chat. I apologize. Uh, Let me just do this real quick. Your voice is very relaxing. Oh, thank you so much. It means your voice. ah, I was thinking it looked quite Spanishy. I was wondering maybe it was French when I read tu vo, but it was the moi meant made it Spanishy. It's okay, Jonathan. It's okay, Ramos. I'm gonna call you Ramos because I like that word. Ramos, Ramos, Ramos. Thank you so much, though. Welcome in. I got like heated again. If I was still doing heartbeat ASMR when I was talking about the boxing, you guys, it would have been like way higher. But welcome in. Thank you so much. Gracias. No, I don't know. I know people make fun of how people say it, how like non-Spanish people say it. We always say, I kind of want to see someone like Prince Nassim pop up in boxing again. Someone that's kind of like just a wacky character. I've been really enjoying kind of watching Inoue though. Oh, he's so good. And it happened again. The funny, I don't know Spanish, but I know Portuguese, so I can read Spanish. Yeah, because those are very close, aren't they? Well, they're not very close, but there is like you wouldn't know how to speak it, but you can still they're still so close that you can be like, oh yeah, you can understand, you can follow it quite clearly. Ugh. Thank you everyone for joining me today though. Um, it's been a nice kind of just chill stream, I suppose. For those of you who are new, it's okay. Ramos, if I can use Google Translate, so feel free to wait. I think I'm gonna do something silly. I can. Okay. Wait, let me hear how it's. Puedo usar el traductor y sí que está bien. That was probably so bad. For how long I've been here, it's been a very nice stream. Thank you so much, WhatsApp. I've just kind of been chilling. I started it very stressed, and then I decided to to start moving into ASMR to try and relax. I was also trying to help my streamer friend Diamandis relax. I wonder if he's streaming now. He probably is. Maybe we'll rate him. Oh no, wait, but people are here for ASMR. That would be. I'm gonna have to figure out a way. That's why I need to play more games, because if I don't, if I play, uh, if I play games, I don't have to worry about like waking people up. Oh god, that's a lot of viewers. That's a little scary. I'm not too sure if I'd rate them. ASMR. Okay. I am getting a little tired though. Technically, it's like 3 o'clock since I went, so I think I will. I think I will end the stream there. I'm gonna look around to see if there's anyone to raid. So give me a moment. Ooh, there's someone just playing some music and doing some studying. I think they're just kind of typing on their keyboard. I think that would be nice to raid into. I'm going to have to play some games or do some like just normal chatting streams so I can raid into my friends. But I don't want to. I don't want to. Wake anyone up. I feel like that's always so rude when you raid into a non-ASMR stream as an ASMR streamer. But I also want to support my friends, so I'm going to be forced to do some more gaming streams. But thank you all for joining me. Thank you, What's Up, Laughs a Lot, Daya, Layla. It was really nice to have you here, Layla. Thank you for coming in and chatting with me. Oh, very kind. And thank you, Ramos. I'm going to sleep. I loved your voice and your stream. Thank you so much. I hope you all have a lovely sleep. Get cozy, wrap up in your blanket. Thank you, Lancelot. Let me rate someone, shall we? Oh, I will just say, if you've enjoyed, and you haven't, I would really appreciate a follow. I should get that thing that automatically does that. If you'd just like to attend one of my streams again, it would be very much appreciated. But thank you all. What's her name? It is. So we're going to raid Hyacinth. She's just streaming some ASMR and she's just typing on her keyboard. It sounds quite nice. So yeah, we'll rate her. It's not going to be anything too crazy. Say hello, be kind, be nice, all that stuff. Thank you all, Slán Gafoil, and Gareb Mila Mahagat.